Hey guys, welcome back. So this week we have another face on the channel, a special guest that you guys have seen before on the channel, Mr. Johnny Wunder.
How's it going?
Welcome.
Good to see you, pal.
Good to see you guys.
So today we are starting the first of a series of videos where we're going to sort of start building Johnny's equipment for his quest to qualify for the Sahali Invitational?
Sahali Players Championship.
Players Championship?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a tournament that's near and dear to your heart.
Right.
You've always wanted to play in it. It's been a big goal for you forever, really, to qualify for it.
Right.
And obviously through the platform you have with Golf WRX and working with guys like us, this is the perfect time to document it, and because everyone's going to have something that they aspire to qualify for,
Yeah.
playing, whether that's your A Flight Club Championship, whether that's qualifying for, I don't know, whatever,
or performing best at your
Yeah,
member guest,
absolutely.
or whatever it might be. I think it's very relatable because everyone at every level of golf, with few exceptions, plays in something competitive,
Yeah.
or at least something they care about, how well they play in.
Exactly. So this is really kind of video number one. We done an intro video back at the tail end of last year, with Johnny talking about this process was kicking into gear, but realistically it has now begun. You started working with your coaches,
Yep.
you started kind of all these other aspects towards performance, and this is one part of many parts of performance.
It really is. I mean, and the funny thing is my desire to qualify for this thing is as high as it's ever been, but logistically my life is more challenging and not conducive to golf than it's
Right.
ever been.
Interesting.
So part of the experiment is, as a man at 42 with 2 kids and, obviously a full workload, is there a home remedy or is there like a Nintendo cheat code to getting better on a deadline?
Yeah.
And obviously I have an awesome platform. I have good friends like you guys to help maximize this thing, but it's sort of like it's an experiment. We're going to see how far I can go, and it's a little scary, but at the same time, I think I have the right partners and the right tech. If there is a way, I'll find it. That's kind of where I'm at.
So we're currently, what, 5 months, 4.5 months?
5 months.
5 months out. So, June, kind of middle of June is when we're going to be, or you'll be heading out there. So this is by no means a crash diet. You have time, you have been working on this, and you're already starting from a baseline of being a very good player. What is your handicap right now?
I'm a 3 right now.
Right.
So on any given day, I'm a 69 or 68 to 84 player. So I can go out and shoot.
Interesting.
It's way out there. I mean, it just depends on how I roll out of bed. So
yeah, that is interesting. Because you can be, the 72 to 77 guy and be the same handicap. You just can go a bit lower, but you can also go a bit higher.
Right.
So I'm curious about, I'm more curious about what's causing the high numbers and then the low numbers are good. I like where you're at there.
Well, it's kind of fun. It's actually, which is why, we'll get to this in a second, why the app Cobra Connect, for example, helps somebody like me, because I'm not a good course manager. My golf IQ is high, but it's not regulated, meaning I don't really know how I operate around a golf course.
Right.
So those 84s probably should be 75, 76s, but I have a part of my brain that doesn't work so well. So, that app's going to identify those weaknesses, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Cobra Connect is something I've been really interested in, and their partnership with Arcos and the data that we as club fitters can extract from that, or not even club fitters, but coaches or whatever. Because the reality of this whole thing is, whether it's you or a customer that comes in here every single day, we're going to work together once or maybe twice, and then they're gone. They're in the field, they're performing, and I'm so curious as to whether there's something where we can create a platform where we can continuously work with a group of clients. So whether it's me and I have 200 clients I work with and they all use something like Cobra Connect, I can look up your file, Johnny, after 5 weeks of not seeing you and go, okay, you got to come in, you're missing way too many wedges, 56 degrees missing left, 3 woods missing right, let's get back in and optimize and see what's happening, because that's costing you shots here, here, and here. That's fascinating to someone like me who's obsessed with helping people improve.
Right, and that's the thing you and I have talked about a couple of times, where it's the shine of a fit. When you get fit, you're in your best self in that fit, right? But then you go back home with your clubs, and after a couple of weeks, like buying a new car, the shine of it's off. It's not the same thing, and all of a sudden you're susceptible to starting to hit it back to your old patterns again. And it's a big chunk of money to spend to not optimize yourself. And
absolutely,
for guys like you, that information's huge to be able to follow up.
Yeah.
Just strictly follow up, it's a big deal.
No, that's exactly it. And I think, you know, as club fitters, one thing we're very conscious of is trying to establish not just what you're doing on the day, but with the swing patterns and tendencies you have. I already asked you a question, you hit a couple of shots there. I've not seen you hit one bad shot yet today in the 6-7 shots you hit warming up, but I'm already picking up the bad shots you're going to hit. I can already see them around your patterns of where you deliver the golf club. That's part of being a good club fitter, is that you have awareness of the days when you struggle. The player who's shallow with the irons, you know they hate a bare lie, a downhill lie. You know they hate that already. So, you know, I know when you're going to struggle a little bit. I know you love the first cut rough and the ball sitting up and you can pick it nicely off the top of it. You know, those are the things you have to, even if you don't see it, you have to know that that's what's going on in front of you. But using actual data from something like Cobra Connect is what allows us to not just analyze it, but measure it. Which is awesome.
And golf course to golf course too, which is nice about Cobra Connect, is they have access to so many golf courses. So, you know, you might find a golf course like Sahalee, for example.
Right.
I might score better out of the first cut of rough.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not so tight of a lie. And I can get the club on the ball. So like those are pieces of information that most people don't think about.
Yeah. No, it's very true. So, Cobra Connect are sponsoring Quest to Qualify. But they never limited you to playing their product. They basically gave you an open platform to go test a bunch of product, which you've done. You know, you've been on the circuit since kind of the end of last year, going to all the product launches with all the OEMs.
True.
Demo day, PGA show. I know you were looking at some stuff down there. So, but you've ended up on, you know, not too many people's surprise who are watching this, but you've ended up on F9.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Cobra Golf they're amazing about being passionate in supporting the story, the experiment of it all. But as far as the clubs were concerned, if I landed on Cobra clubs, awesome. If I didn't, I didn't.
Sure.
And this driver and the fairway woods were the first things that I actually tried, which was in October. And you know, they sort of the first guy in, and they tested the best. Even to this day, they've tested the best. So it was a happy accident, but I have tried everything.
Okay,
that's great.
And
So we're dealing with a fitted driver here, which is interesting. So, you know, we're not dealing with something off the rack that we expect to kind of significantly outperform. You're unlikely to significantly outperform a fitted product,
right?
Especially if you've been to the guys, you know, who know the product, you know, inside and out, which is Cobra themselves.
Right.
So, you know, this will be a baseline test. This will be all about trying to optimize it, see if we can establish some flight characteristics that keep you safe from your crooked shots, wherever they may be or wherever they may occur. And let's just see what rolls out.
Maybe you'll be able to fine tune it better for Johnny to shoot a lower score, because obviously you can go for a fitting and they're going to get, I'm sure, really good launch and spin numbers for him and good dispersion, but he's playing a very specific golf course. Maybe you guys can really dial in the type of drives that he needs to hit on a regular basis on the tee.
For sure. Now, you don't know much of what they've done to this driver, do you?
I don't.
Okay.
I know what it's called, and I know what color the shaft is, but past that I don't know much.
All right, so we have that your head weight is 10 grams heavier than a standard F9. Okay, so already that's interesting. The shaft is a 1/4 inch short. You're using Tensei White 60 TX. So again, they're trying to balance a little bit of what obviously you had was good speed. They're trying to turn that into good accuracy, going shorter, up in the head weight in order to make sure the shaft still, you know, plays to the true flex. But you say you still find this hard work sometimes.
I do. I mean, yeah, it's the easiest, it's the most simplest way. Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, it is hard. It's not effortless, I'll say that. I have to work to get it down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of things, you know, the reason we have 110 driver shafts is that one might be the one that creates the best performance, but if it doesn't give you the best sort of sense of where the club is, what the club's doing, you're not going to be able to deliver it the best way. So if it feels like work already, I know you're going to try to do more work. You're going to try harder. You're going to do something that doesn't come all that naturally to you. So, you know, through all the shafts we do some testing with today, we'll probably try and factor in something that feels like, okay, this is effortless for the same result, if not a better result.
Right. I mean, the only time I can equate that to, as far as the shaft's concerned, is the old Blue Board Diamana, which is a shaft that, for whatever reason, for me, I call it sweet spotting itself. For real, I can make a poor swing, and the club just seemed to deliver. 9 times out of 10, I'd hit it in the middle of the face.
It was a really, really good shaft. The problem with that shaft for a lot of guys was the 65 gram, whether it be stiff or X, was a significantly different animal from the 73 and 83 gram shafts that were in S and X. They were much stiffer as they got up into the higher weights. So that's an interesting one. All right, let's hit numbers, Let's see what's going on.
All right.
So normally you would expect to hit it how far off the tee?
You know, normal swing, if I'm a carry it 280, 282 type guy, and it rolls out to 300 if I pop one maybe a little further.
So plenty of speed.
Yep.
Good start.
Very nice.
It's like I drew it up, Ian.
I was going to say the little camera adrenaline in that one. That was 292 in the air, 13.9, 2000.
Sounded pretty good too.
Similar start line, just a slightly different curve pattern. Hit it actually very centre, just hung the face a shade open. So your miss is where, Johnny, on the right or left?
I miss it to the right. When I'm swinging poorly, it's a high right shot.
Okay.
Which means I can miss it way left too if I'm really struggling. But what I mean by like this shaft's a lot of work. Like on the way down, I'm really having to really focus to get it squared up.
Okay. That's a good swing. I mean, all of these are very playable.
Yeah, flights look pretty balanced. Don't they?
Pretty consistent. Give it that. That was one of the misses right there.
Okay.
So that one looked quicker than the others in transition.
Okay.
So whether that's again that feeling that you're just kind of trying to load the shaft a little more, whether you're trying to create some energy through a slightly quicker transition.
That so just to give you an example, like what I'm feeling. So like at the top, I can tell when my timing's a little bit off, and I can tell when I really have to, in my case, pop out of it and get the club down.
Right.
And it's hard for me to do that with this. Sometimes with another shaft I can save it, with this one I cannot. There's no margin for error.
Okay, good. I mean, it's not awful by any means, is it? I mean, it's far from it. It's definitely a great place to start from, because anything we give you on top of that, you're going to be in great shape. So I would say you've missed one fairway, which is probably the last one.
Yep.
The other ones I wouldn't say you would have missed the fairway. You're averaging 285, 308. It's about what you said, just about 280-ish. First one with 292 in the air was really good. So maybe we'll try and see a few more like that.
These are the averages, right?
These are the averages. So really, we are a little bit quicker with less loft. We would expect that. Launch and spin are okay. I would probably say you've got another 10 yards in you.
Okay.
Right. So, but I think that's a slightly better looking.
Yeah. So realistically, it's just going to help the low strike miss hit for the time being, and maybe the right miss for now while he works on, I guess, the golf swing and seeing how that will change where he hits the driver.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Just kind of manage that a little bit. For whatever reason, the tendency was struck slightly on average more toe side. That will help obviously the gearing left. I mean, this is going to be a process, isn't it? This is going to be a continual thing. So I'm really curious as to what happens when your speed changes. When you stop kind of coming out. I think one of the ways you'll get speed is that your speed will come out at a different point in your swing. So I think you will start striking it significantly higher in the head, like another 7-8 millimeters higher in the head.
Right. That's all it would take, isn't it?
It is. And then these are going to turn into 295, the odd 300 carry, ball speed 165, 167 on the real good ones rather. Today the best ones were 164. So I think there's definitely 3-4 miles an hour more easily. So
and that's the nice thing about this also is that I just started. It's the second Monday of this experiment, so I'm coming basically off of nothing.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it's beneficial for me the fact that it's not like we're not walking out of here like that's your setup. That's because I know it's going to change. I know my swing's going to change, but it's a really good identifier of where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing about getting fit also is if you're working on your swing and you're working on some stuff, having somebody that can identify 2 months from now, what it might look like, it's huge, right?
For sure, without a doubt. So managing those kind of misses right now through the draw setting is really kind of the key for Johnny right now. So if you had to go play next week, I know you and Brian are going to go play. When's that?
In March 8th.
March 8th.
So a month.
Okay, so that's good. So we'll have another look at this prior to that.
Make sure I'm all geeked out for that.
Yeah, because I think I'll be curious as to when you're a month down the line with your swing changes, what that looks like. But if you had to go and play today, I'd be confident that you're going to go and drive it well.
Yeah.
Which is the key. Leaving here, are you going to be better than you were? Yes.
Incrementally better.
Yeah.
So a nice feature of the head that you could lower the loft and put it on draw. I think that's probably the biggest takeaway for me. No one else can really do. Is that the only driver
Callaway
that can do it?
So
Callaway or Cobra are your best bets for someone that presents a bit too much loft but needs to draw it.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's also the nice thing is this was fit by Brandon over at Cobra, so he is pretty damn close.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, the key will be, Johnny, to give you something though that has more of what you like the feel of, and that'll be where you create the timing from. Like the first time I gave you Ventus and the first time I gave you TZ5, you were very comfortable in the feel of those two.
Right.
So I'd be really curious in time to especially visit those two again and see what that looks like.
There's some potential there for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you seem to be very comfortable with those ones. Ventus was very quick on ball speed for you, so I'd like to revisit those as well.
Yeah. The other thing I want to mention is that for the next couple months, until I go play with Brian, that's the only time I'll really be able to play. So a lot of this is working on my swing indoors and doing that kind of stuff. So it's a nice time to be able to try this stuff because it's going to be so highly focused on getting the strike right.
We were talking about launch monitors and stuff earlier as well, but I think now that you've analysed it today, there's not that much fluctuation in your face and path and different stuff. Your path gets slightly, slightly more away from you, a little more out as you hit lots of shots. So I think next time you're in, I'd be really curious to see. Okay, tell me what the strike is in the first 10 shots of your session.
Right.
And again, that's where GC Quad is fantastic.
It's the best, right?
Yep.
So this is going to be interesting. A process.
Yeah, it's a process. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Okay, excellent, guys. I mean, this is day in, day out what happens at TXG, and this is the type of stuff where if we don't see that we're going to change someone's game by giving them a different drive or a different product,
different shaft or something. Yeah.
No, we're going to try our best just to optimize it with what we've got, and we managed to do that.
Definitely. Yep.
But you know, it's definitely not the end goal, which is going to be to, you know,
Yeah.
help Johnny drive it significantly better.
Part of a complete process for Johnny to improve. He'll be going to get some lessons and stuff. So yeah, I'll be curious to come back and revisit this once I guess that strike point is a little bit higher in the face, and then at that point maybe there will be a little bit more ball speed to be had from a different shaft.
There will be more ball speed. The ball speed will spike up. The launch will come up about to, you know, if that's 12.5, call it another degree and a half. The spin will come down another couple of hundred.
Yep.
That's where we'll access
more yards.
that extra, you know, 5 to 10. And if we can keep that dispersion looking like it's just got nice draws in it, which it was, we're going to be in some good shape.
Cool.
So Harley, here we come.
Well, yeah. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
You got it, pal. All right, guys. Let us know what you kind of, if you've had a similar experience to this. Johnny's going to be with us on this journey, or should I say, we're going to be with him in this journey. So you're going to see lots more of this stuff.
For sure. Yeah.
We've got iron fits, wedge fits, putter fits, which is going to be neat coming up. Fairway woods coming up very soon.
That's right.
We're going to try and get that today as well. So you'll see that one very soon. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. See you soon.